So, Pokémon marks. They're neat little additional bonuses to make certain wild Pokémon rarer than others. Introduced in Sword and Shield, there are over 50 marks a Pokémon can have as of Scarlet and Violet. A handful are always attached to certain Pokémon from specific kinds of encounters, and some are earnable for specific actions like ribbons. But for the large majority of marks, they're attached completely randomly to wild Pokémon in Galar and Paldea. So imagine my surprise when, while I'm attending the 2024 Pokémon World Championships in Hawaii, I happened to find an extremely rare marked shiny Pokémon that I wasn't actually allowed to keep. Speaking of the World Championships, I would appreciate it if you subscribe. It'll help grow the channel and maybe help me attend the 2025 World Championships in Anaheim as a creator. A little ways away across the river from the main Worlds venue at the Hilton Hawaiian Village, they set up a space called Trainer Town. This area didn't require a badge to enter and had tons of activities set up for Pokémon fans to participate in. The drone show took place on Thursday, Saturday, and Sunday nights, so it was a popular gathering spot throughout the weekend. This was also the location of the Pokémon Play Lab, a space for players to try out demos of the Pokémon trading card game, Pokémon Unite, and of course, Scarlet and Violet. Playing one of the demos here got you some cool swag as well. A Snorlax TCG pin, a microfiber cloth with the type chart on the back, and the main reason I was here, a code to receive an event ribbon Steenie with the move Celebrate, which I gave away during Galar Fight Night in the Pokémon Ribbons Discord. Since I didn't have any goal in mind for the 15 minutes I had with the demo, I decided to shiny hunt. You may have seen other content creators like AbsolBlog's Pokémon and Kotatsu and Unova shiny hunt on these demo kiosks, and I wanted to see if I could find a shiny here at Worlds. After checking what outbreaks the demo had, I saw that there was an event outbreak just outside of Cortondo. For the World Championships, they released event outbreaks for Pokémon featured in the key art for the event. Comfey in Blueberry Academy, Riolu in Kitakami, and Wattrel in mainland Paldea. Although admittedly, Wattrel is the tiniest Pokémon on this key art aside from maybe Wishy-Washy. I started clearing out the outbreak to raise the shiny rate as high as possible. These event outbreaks have not only a 5% increased chance of spawning Pokémon with the pumped up mark, but they also have a 0.5% or 1 in 200 chance of spawning shiny Pokémon. A massive and welcome boost considering I didn't have access to my shiny charm or any Herba Mystica for sparkling power sandwiches. The way these outbreaks work means that if the game fails the 1 in 200 roll to spawn a shiny, it will still attempt the regular chance. So by knocking out 60 Wattrel for an additional 2 shiny rolls, our combined chance to get either the 1 in 200 or one of the 3 1 in 4096 rolls combines into an overall 1 in 174.56 rate to find a shiny Wattrel. Unfortunately, about 10 minutes into my allotted time, I did manage to find one. But unfortunately, this Wattrel would not be coming home with me. When I got into the encounter, I asked the attendant at the kiosk if I could trade it to my main save file after catching it. She took the question to the Playlab manager and after a short time came back with bad news. Wattrel would unfortunately have to stay on the kiosk. I'm not entirely sure why this was, but it seems that having to manage some 32 demo save files, they didn't want players to save the game in order to make it easier to reset the save file for the next player, which makes sense. But I was also told this after I'd already saved in front of Wattrel, so sorry to the Playlab attendants on that front. But after catching Wattrel in a Premier Ball, I noticed something even worse now that I knew he wouldn't be making it back. He had a mark. And it wasn't one of the super plentiful uncommon or time of day marks, or even the 5% pumped up mark that came with this event. It was a Teary mark, which did make it look like he was somehow aware of his impending doom. After the 15 minutes were up, I put down the controller, collected my Steenie code and goodies, and exited the Playlab. Wattrel may not have been among them, but I had a new mission to reclaim a shiny Teary mark Wattrel from these event outbreaks. But there's a huge issue. If someone asks you which individual mark was the rarest, you might be inclined to say the rare mark. It's in the name after all. And from a certain perspective, you'd be right. The rare mark has a base 1 in 1,000 chance to spawn attached to a given wild Pokémon, befitting its name. But when we look at how marks are chosen, things get a bit tricky. Each mark that can spawn on a wild Pokémon falls into one of 6 categories, each with its own rarity. As mentioned, the rare mark is in its own group with a 1 in 1,000 chance of being chosen. Its sibling, the uncommon mark, also has an entire group to itself with a 1 in 50 rate, earning it the ire of many mark hunters as it's the most common sight among marked Pokémon. At this same rate, we find the weather and time of day mark categories, but these ones get less pushback from players as they might appear as frequently as uncommon marks, but only when certain conditions are met. The time of day marks, as you might expect, correspond to the 4 times of day: dawn, midday, dusk, and night, with the dawn, lunchtime, dusk, and sleepy time marks respectively. Weather marks, while they have the same rate as the uncommon and time of day marks, are only available when their corresponding weather is active. clouds, rain, thunderstorms, sandstorms, snow, blizzards, and fog. This actually means that while weather is active, all other marks become slightly rarer with this new addition to the pool, though the chance of finding any mark at all goes up. The last two categories are the Destiny Mark, another category with only a single entry that is extremely common at a base rate of 1 in 25, but only on the player's birthday that they've specified to Nurse Joy. And finally, the Personality Marks. This group is unique for not only being the largest, but also having multiple of its potential marks available at once. There are 28 personality marks: the absent-minded, angry, calmness, charismatic, crafty, excited, ferocious, flustered, humble, intellectual, intense, jittery, joyful, kindly, peeved, prideful, pumped up, rowdy, scowling, slump, smiley, teary, thorny, unsure, upbeat, vigor, zero energy, and zoned out marks. As a group, you have a base 1 in 100 rate to find a personality mark. But the true nightmare is that this 1 in 100 is split between all 28 marks in this group. This means that if you set out to obtain a Pokemon with a specific personality mark, the base rate is 1 in 2800, 2.8 times rarer than what most call the rarest mark in the game. Throw in that we're looking for a shiny on top of that, and you can see why this is shaping up to be a monstrous task to reclaim our Wattrel. But that's just the base rate. Obviously, this outbreak isn't working off of those numbers considering it already plays with the rate of the pumped up mark. So we have a few tools we can employ to tilt the scales ever so slightly in our favor. For one, we can now use the Shiny Charm for another 2 shiny rolls, and Sparkling Power 3 from Sandwiches for an additional 3 rolls should the 1 in 200 event check fail, bringing our combined shiny rate up to 1 in 144.06. Similarly, we can get more rolls at getting Mark Pokemon by using the Mark Charm for 2 additional Mark rolls and Tidal Power 3 for 3 additional rolls, giving us up to 6 rolls for a Mark. This brings our chance for specifically a Teary Mark up to 1 in 526.31, or about a 0.19% chance. Or rather, it would, but remember that 5% chance for a pumped up mark? Turns out that roll works on a similar system to the 0.5% chance to get a shiny. When each Wattrel spawns, the game will roll to give it the pumped up mark. Then if it fails, it proceeds to roll for marks as normal. This also means that there's a tiny chance that it fails the 5% roll and then rolls a pumped up mark anyway. All said and done, each Wattrel has a 1 in 144.06 chance to be shiny, and a 1 in 555.55 chance to have specifically the Teary mark. For our final sandwich power, since we're using outbreaks, I figured there wasn't any harm in using the Humongo or Teensy powers, which give us a 1 in 64 chance to have a scale of 255 or 0 on any given Wattrel respectively. Huge shout out to Anubis for all the data regarding the shiny rates and the mark rates for these event outbreaks. And to keep this montage brief, I'll show you the beginning of each encounter with each shiny Wattrel, but I'll only show the full encounter if I got a new mark or if I find something particularly notable. So without further ado, may I present every single shiny Wattrel I encountered while reclaiming my Worlds 2024 Shiny Teary Mark Wattrel. Our first marked one probably the Driven mark, or the pumped up mark with the title of the Driven. But no, don't get it on the first try, then I can't turn it into a YouTube short series. Uncommon. Marked shiny instantly after returning to the outbreak is crazy. Imagine just no sandwich, no title power, get it anyway. Nope, just the event mark. Makes sense. There's a mark shiny. Probably uncommon or pumped up. Like half the pool. Absent-minded. Okay, so that is a personality mark, but it's not the one we're looking for. Hey, a marked shiny Wattrel. How about that? I think this is our 20th Wattrel. But yeah, you can't press A to see the title on this screen. Different personality marks, still not the teary-eyed, and I think that is actually the next one alphabetically after the absent-minded mark. I was kind of joking earlier when I said we'd go through all the personality marks alphabetically. There's a marked one. That's why I'm catching them in Premiere Balls. That's what the demo save file had to catch things. It had like a dozen Pokeballs, a net ball, and a Premiere Ball. Yeah, the Stormy mark is tricky because, like, you only get like a couple minutes of stormy weather at a time. Oh, there's our first time of day mark. Another marked shiny. What mark are we looking for? The teary-eyed mark. Or the teary mark, which gives the title of the teary-eyed. Alright, excited mark is another personality mark, but it is not the one we're looking for. It used to be that, like, when they added new Pokemon, which doesn't happen as often anymore, it used to be that, like, it would take them a while to, like, update to count as that type. Like, I know for there's, like, an evolved grass-type Pokemon for the Shaman research or the Celebi research, I forget which. And people would get the new Pokemon, like, you know, they'd release Turtwig or something, and people would evolve Turtwig, and it would count as evolving a grass type. There's our first weather mark, Wattrel. Cloudy mark, finally making appearance. That's a new one, at least. 2 of the 4 time of day marks. This is our second shiny that spawned in the tree. The game is handling it badly. Yeah, it's just failing to start the encounter. Okay, I shook it out of the tree by encountering a different one. Yeah, second failed shiny Wattrel, just because the game is, somehow... Wow, all that and I didn't even catch him off guard. Amazing. Marked, though. Find out what it is. That's a new mark. Not a rare one, but just, you know, another time of day mark. There's a marked shiny. Why is the edge of my screen so blurry? You see that? The blur filter didn't go away. There it goes. Yo? Double marked shiny Wattrel? That's not what I'm looking for, but... Okay. I said it would happen because it would be funny. And it sure is. Oh, come on. Okay. That is a personality mark, but it's also our first repeat personality mark, which is just brutal. I mean, it's a good mark, but it's a personality mark, but not the one we're looking for. And the fact that this is like our fourth personality mark. We had absent-minded, and we had angry, and then we had excited. Now we've got excited again. The fact that it only took 4 personality marks to do a repeat. Okay. We found both sizes now. Come on, man. Well, there's both size marks done. This is Mini Mark Watch Roll and Jumbo Watch, or, yeah, Jumbo Mark and Mini Mark together. Amazing. Here, zoom in. Yeah, what? This is minimum size, this is maximum size. Marked shiny. New personality mark. Not the one we're looking for. Yeah, that's another thing about the new system. Under the old system, you could go to however many tournaments until you qualify, and then be like, okay, we're good. And you didn't have to worry about constantly going to tournaments, especially if you have a... Not that... Okay. Especially if you have not that many tournaments by you, to finish my thought. There's a new personality mark. Ton of marked shinies for one sandwich. Oh. If it isn't Ronk 475. Hello, everyone. Where's double marked Wattrel number 3? We might get it. I mean, we found like 5 or 6 marked Wattrels in this one sandwich. One of which was a new personality mark. It wasn't Teary Mark like we wanted, but it was Rowdy Mark. That's another new one. I forgot to check this guy, but now we have all the time of day marks. Still not the one I'm looking for. Ronk, you jinxed it. Ronk, come back here. This is your fault. You know what? Banned. Jail for Ronk. Jail for 1,000 years. Sometimes you think you're friends with someone and then they curse you to get an incredibly rare Pokemon instead of the one you want. The way stat experience works is whenever you beat a Pokemon and gain experience, so same as EVs, you gain stat experience equal to that Pokemon's base stats. So if you defeated a Mew, you would get 100 stat experience in each stat, because Mew has 100 in every base stat. And what's really funny is confusion damage still works like you would expect in Gen 1, which is kind of funny because almost nothing works how you'd expect in Gen 1. Okay. I forgot to go check that guy, but there's our 7th personality mark. That's not what we're looking for. It sure looks like what we're looking for. It is a mark that is 2 blue droplets, but that is not the Teary mark. Those droplets are in the wrong direction. You thought it was it? Nope. You've been pranked.
Did you guys ever have Pokemon cards banned at your school?
Yes.
Oh, every year.
Oh, yeah.
Every year.
Yeah.
I don't know how I completely avoided Pokemon. Like, no one at my school, I never heard about Pokemon at, like, my elementary school. We had, like, Tectex and Bakugan banned. But, like, no one was bringing Pokemon enough for it to get banned.
That's crazy,
Yeah,
bro.
so-
My whole school was obsessed.
Same with mine, but we didn't have it banned from our school, but my school bus had it banned. Because one time, there was a full-on fist fight on the bus.
One place they can't moderate the underground Pokemon trades. It's the bus.
So, basically, there was a trade that happened, and it was no trade backs, and
Oh.
one of the cards was Bowser X. And then the guy realized that it was
Pardon?
fake.
Oh, man.
Only
And
after
so,
the trade. Only after
the
looking at it
trade.
through a jeweler's loop.
Like, hey, wait a minute.
Like the most
Oh my
obviously
goodness.
fake nonsense, and then they're like, "Oh wait, this is fake," and then there was a full-on fist fight on the bus.
That's crazy.
I got excited
the
because this
Bowser.
mark was blue.
Oh no.
Very rude.
This person's
This shall
selling
be
a
my
collection
cookie
of
today.
every Pokemon Oreo, like the full, like, completed Oreo decks, plus 3 Mews for only 500 compared to the 10,000.
Hold on now.
Only 500? I think I
No,
completed
compared
that
to
for
a bargain.
just $5.
Hey guys,
double found a bargain.
marked shiny watch roll number 4.
Oh,
What?
man.
Are you kidding?
That's-
Help
ridiculous.
me.
Why are eBay links so long?
Ridiculous.
There's a lot of stuff up there, I guess.
I have now gotten a repeat double mark shiny. This one isn't even double marked. How many jumbos is that? That's our 5th jumbo and our first that doesn't have another mark. There's our 6th jumbo mark. This is off stream. I very rarely do shiny hunts off stream. We just got rare Mark Wattrel. You guys will be seeing this like in the video itself, so you'll have the context of how many Wattrel this has been, but today has just been a very very difficult day for Wattrel, huh? Had that duplicate Rowdy Mark earlier, duplicate Arrogant Mark, duplicate Kindly Mark, duplicate Pompous Mark, 4 duplicate Personality Marks, and then just now the rare Mark. I've probably already pointed this out earlier in the video, but getting specifically the Teary Mark that we're looking for is rarer than the rare Mark. But that doesn't mean I wanted to see it first. Well, at least this is a nice outbreak spot. Anyway, back to the montage of Wattrels I'm sure you've been enjoying for the past. Ooh, I don't know, at this point, like, a couple hundred Wattrels? Would not be surprised. There's a marked shiny. It's a new one. Iffy. There's a new personality mark. That's the smiley mark obtained. They were out of your great value brown sugar cinnamon toaster tarts. That's rough, buddy. Had to get the name brand. Pay $10 for a box of Pop-Tarts. Well, I mean, failing those 2 shinies earlier does mean we were put onto the timeline where I got a new personality mark, but it's not the one I'm looking for. Had the scowling mark. That's me right now. I am the scowling. How's it going? It's going. There's another jumbo mark. Amazing. What a specimen. So the shiny has entered the Wattrel matrix. So the only way to get this guy out is to fight all of these Wattrel. Never mind. Well, one of them was double marked. It's the uncommon mark. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do this to me. Duplicate rare mark. Oh my goodness. Alright, that's our third kindly mark. That is our first triple personality mark. Well, it's a new personality mark. Okay. Another one for the collection. It's progress of a sort. Finding a lot of marked watch roll in the one time I have something to save. They know. I really don't want to deplete this outbreak, it's so good. But what I could have done is maybe saved after I got the new mark, and then that way I can reset over these guys, but, like, I don't think it'll matter too much. Maybe after this one, maybe after we save this group, we, start doing that to minimize the amount of saving we do. I've suddenly turned into the thing that caused this whole thing in the first place, and trying to minimize the amount of saving. No comment. 2 new personality marks in one sandwich is outrageous. So we would have saved that one anyway, so it doesn't even matter. Game knows. Well, there's our 8th jumbo, 6th double marked. Okay. 3 new personality marks in one day. That is a record of some kind. Why? Why must this happen to me? Oh my goodness. Just actually, what the heck? That's our third rare mark. Second one from this outbreak. I mean, you know, it matches what Anubis said yesterday. The expected value, you'd, like, you know, you'd expect to find roughly 3 1 in 200s before a 1 in 555, but, like, I don't want to find 3 1 in 200s. That is our 4th rowdy mark and our 2nd rowdy mark today. What even, game? You are being extremely rude. Marked shiny right at the end of the sandwich. Alright. New personality mark, at least. Okay. That's a new personality mark. That's a new one. There is one watch roll left in this outbreak. I know it doesn't look like it, but we really got 2 new personality marks today, huh? And 2 duplicates. It's been a good day for personality marks, just not the one I want. Alright, I suppose that is the end of that outbreak. That is... Come on, man. It's a new one. Boy howdy is it a new personality mark. 3 new personality marks in one day. Out of, what, 6 found? Like, I thought it would be slower to get new personality marks. I thought it'd be slower to get new personality marks with more of the pool already being duplicates. But yeah, that's the last Wattrel in this outbreak. The wall has been depleted. I should give some of these away. At some point. Maybe Galar Fight Night prizes. Maybe I'll just hold on to them and be like, look at me, I'm the Lord of the Wattrels, and you can't have any. Oh, weird. How did I encounter one in Cortondo? Hold on. I kind of want to catch this to see if it has a met location of the city itself. Game got a little confused. Huh. You can have Pokemon with cities as met locations, you just need to encounter them within the city, which is not normally possible. There it is. My boy. We found him. He's come home. Oh my goodness. I don't even know what number Wattrel this is. Like, few hundred? Oh my goodness. Ah, well then. My boy has come home from Worlds. And so, after 698 encounters and a staggering 235 marked shinies, Wattrel the Teary-Eyed has made his way home from Hawaii. If you include the handful of shiny Wattrel that I spotted and didn't get an encounter with, that makes over 700 shiny Wattrel in order to reclaim this one single Teary boy. And having completed our mission, I think I've earned a break from mark hunting this little bird. Maybe someday I'll set out to claim the 7 remaining personality marks, the 4 weather marks, and the unavailable destiny mark to round out the set. Thanks for sticking around to the end of this incredible shiny hunt. And thanks for watching.